Hi friends, welcome to the Upcycle Design Lab. If this is your first time here, my name's Cindy and I craft using recycled and repurposed materials to give you ideas on ways to make and create more economically and ecologically. And today I have a very simple garden marker project for you. I've made a couple of other garden marker projects and I will link those in the description box, but it always seems that every year I need different garden markers. Probably because I'm a terrible gardener and I keep trying to find something that I can't kill. So this year I decided to plant some seeds. So I'm going to be starting with some seed packets and aluminum cans to make my garden markers for this year's garden. I've gone ahead and emptied all of my seeds into some containers. I'm saving the instructions and I separated the packets so that I have the picture separated from the rest of the pack. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside because I have not been able to plant my garden yet. For this project, you're going to need one aluminum can per garden marker, and we're going to be using this flattened portion of the can. If you're interested in how I break down my cans into these four usable parts, I will link to that video tutorial in the description. And there's also a link on 3 different ways that you can flatten aluminum cans. So check out those videos if you need additional help in getting to this point, because we're going to be starting with just the flattened sheet for this project. I'm starting with this paper template and it's just a rectangle. The outside dimensions are 3 1/4 on the horizontal and 4 5/8 on the vertical. And then I've got an inside rectangle centered in the middle that measures 1 5/8 by 2 1/2 inches. And I just want to use a little bit of painter's tape, and I'm going to tape my template onto each of my aluminum sheets and cut out my rectangle shape. To cut out this piece, I'm going to ignore the center here and I'm just going to cut around the outside edge so I have a large rectangle shape. For this next step, it is helpful if you have a metal ruler. If not, any ruler will do. You need a little bit of painter's tape, and if you want to be super careful and measure this, you can, but what I want to do is I want to try to fold back about 1/4 inch all the way around my metal piece. I just usually eyeball about 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to tape my metal piece to my ruler, and then I will fold that 1/4 inch back toward the printed side. And the ruler just helps make a nice crisp edge. I've got it taped to my ruler, and then I'm just going to try to fold the aluminum right along the edge of my ruler. I usually do the long sides first and then the short sides, but you can fold it any way you want to. Once you have the crease in there, you want to go ahead and remove the tape. I'm going to save it because I'll just use it again when I'm ready to fold the next section. And then I'm going to go ahead and just fold this the rest of the way. And I don't have a burnishing tool, but you do want to press this crease in nice and solidly. So I'm just going to use whatever I have. I can use the end of my glue stick here just to press that crease really tightly down back toward the printed side of the can. So next I'll just fold my other long side, and then I'll go back and do the short sides, and I'm going to repeat that process on all of my pieces. So here are my 5 pieces. A couple of them I did a rather sloppy folding job on, so take your time and try to get them as straight as possible. They don't have to be perfect, but you do want to end up with rectangles and not weird shapes like I made this one much smaller at the top, but I think I can still use it. So the next step is to take a soft mat and an embossing tool. I got this one at the Dollar Tree, so they're very inexpensive. There are lots of different sizes of embossing tools, and I don't know a ton about embossing, but I have found it fun to emboss on my aluminum cans. This particular one just has 2 different sized tips, and I usually end up using the smaller tip. You don't have to do a lot of embossing on your pieces, but I would recommend at least doing this first step because it will help to flatten the piece out. So I'm just going to run a line right around the edge where I've folded my can, and I'm going to work on the pad and just carefully trace a line right along the edge of my fold there. And you should see your embossing coming through on the other side. And the next step is to move to a hard surface, and then to reinforce this line, I'm just going to draw right up next to it and push the metal down in the opposite direction. If you want to, you can go over this more than once. You do want to be a little bit careful so that you're not slipping off your line. But as you can see that I'm drawing this reinforcement line, it's helping to flatten out the piece, and it gives it a nice beveled edge. So you can stop right there, or you can do some decorative embossing around the edge, which is what I did on my other one. So I'm going to add a little bit of decorative embossing to some of these. I call this doodle embossing just because I don't necessarily have a plan when I start, but I just try to kind of fill in the space with some different designs. If you've never done embossing before, I just really enjoy it. It's a fun and sort of relaxing activity for me. You do want to press fairly firmly as you're working, but you do kind of need to work the metal gradually. So if you've never done it before, I would just recommend sort of practicing and getting the feel for working on the pad and on the hard surface, and working with the different tips of your embossing tools. And of course, if you're using aluminum cans, it doesn't matter if you mess up. You can just practice until you understand the feel of the metal and how to work with it. So you can make them all the same, or you can play around with different designs. Just have fun with the embossing portion. And if you don't enjoy embossing, just do that quick first step. I'm going to switch back to my template now. And the reason that I cut this hole in the template is because I want to use it to kind of figure out which portion of the label I want to use. So once I get it lined up in a spot where I like it the best, which I think is maybe over to this side, I have another piece that it just fits in the center here. I'm not going to use any painter's tape on this because I don't want to mess up my paper, and the painter's tape sometimes sticks. So what I want to do is just set this in here, and I'm just going to try to hold it in place. So I'm going to remove the other template, and then I'll go ahead and cut around my paper template. And I'm going to go ahead and use my label portion as well. So I'm just going to cut that off. I'll take one of my metal pieces and line up my labels, and then I'll use my glue stick to glue them to the aluminum. I want to use a fair amount of the glue, and I want to make sure that I give it plenty of time to dry because I want this to stick permanently to the metal. You want to make sure you've got all your corners pressed down well and the edges are sealed. And then I'll just go ahead and repeat that process for the other labels. For this next step, you're going to need a wire hanger and some nail pulling pliers. These are pretty heavy duty and they're good at cutting really heavy wire. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my hanger into 4 sections, so I'll have 4 stakes out of each hanger. If you want to, you can make them a little bit longer and just use the bottom portion. So I'm going to cut my wire in half at the bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut right at the corners of the hanger and right at the top of the hanger. And I'll have to straighten out my hanger pieces a little bit in order to make them into straight stakes. Then I've got one other piece of hanger for one more section to make my 5 stakes. I'm going to work on these to get these a little bit straighter. If you have straighter pieces of wire to work with, it'd probably be a lot easier. I'm going to be using some E6000 glue to attach my wires to the backs of my labels, and I want to have a fair amount of surface to glue to. So I'm just going to take the top of each of my skewers and make a little bit of a hook there so I have a little bit more surface to add the glue to. So I'm going to add a good amount of glue to just the bottom portion of my labels here. If you've never worked with E6000 glue, it's a nice strong glue. It takes a little while to set up, so you have plenty of time to work with it. The E6000 glue takes 24 hours to fully cure, so you definitely don't want to put these outside before that 24-hour period is up. I'm going to go ahead and let them sit for a couple of hours just to let the glue harden enough for me to do the final step. The last step is to add a finishing coat, and I really like this DecoArt DuraClear gloss varnish. It says it's for indoor and outdoor use. I have used it on projects outside that I've painted with acrylic paint, and it's held up really well. I don't know for sure how it's going to hold up with the paper, but I am going to put 2 coats on and we'll see what happens. The good news is that I probably won't need these next year, so if the paper washes off, I can use them for something else. You do need to shake this a little bit, but it's very easy to use. It's water soluble, and like I said, it's just easy to brush on, and hopefully it will hold up at least for the season. So like I said, I'm going to add 2 light coats over just the paper portion of my labels. I do want to make sure that I'm getting a nice coat along the edge of the paper because I don't want any water to get behind the labels. And if things go according to plan, these will last through this gardening season. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't already, I'd love to have you join my YouTube family by clicking that subscribe button. If you enjoyed today's content, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can also click the bell icon to select your notification preferences. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you back here soon in the lab for my next experiment.